Hi everybody, welcome back to the Claremont Classic Garage. Today we've got the old Dodge Caliber in here with a hot engine. The other day we were out and about in the Dodge Caliber and it ended up sitting and idling for about 5 minutes and the engine temperature started creeping up. Once we got the car moving again, the temperature went right back down to normal. Usually that is a good sign that your electric cooling fan is not working, because once you're moving and there's air flowing through the grill and across the rad, it runs at the normal temperature. The fan, its only job really is to keep the engine cool, keep air moving across the rad when the car's not moving. So we're going to have a look at that and see what we can find out. First thing you can see here, coolant level is it's a tiny bit low, but it's okay. You can see here it's full. So don't think we've got it. You can see there it's full. And by the way, don't open that when the engine's hot. It even says right on there, do not open hot. You get a face full of hot antifreeze and that's bad. So what we're going to do is start it up and let it idle and warm up and see if the fan comes on. This will probably take a few minutes for it to warm up because right now she's stone cold. But anyway, something we can do, if you get inside the car and put the air conditioning on or put it on defrost, that should make the fan go to full speed. And well, I don't hear a fan. Yeah, the air conditioner is definitely on. And you can see here, the fan is not running. This might have dual fans too. Maybe I should get a light and look down there and see what I see, eh? All right, I gave up and shut it off because once you put the air conditioning on and you find there's no fans working at all, and it does have dual fans, you've got a problem with the fan. And because both of them don't work, I'd say the problem is not the fan. I'd say the problem is electrical, something to do with the relay or the relay circuit. I'm not getting a code popping up on the dash. I would guess if there was a problem on the control side of the relay, like the coil and ground, the computer grounds the coil in the fan relay. And if it sensed that circuit was open or shorted or any other problem, it would throw a code for the fan. And it's not throwing a code. So my guess is that the issue is the delivery side across the contact points, somewhere between there and the fan, we've got a problem. It's possible that one of the fan motors went bad and blew a fuse. We're going to have to get into the manual and see what is what and what is where and try and figure this out. First place to look is the fuses. We've got two. We've got this 10 amp one here. And we can see that it's okay. And then we've got the 40 amp fuse here. These are fuses number 33, this one, and number 15, this one. This is the actual power for the fans, and you can see it is fine. So, I'll show you where I think the problem is. This is a Dodge Caliber, Jeep Compass, Jeep Patriot relay block. So the relays you have in here, this one here is the relay, the main power relay that sends battery power up to power the TIPM. Sometimes you'll have problems with these cars where they stall randomly or they won't crank. Totally dead. You got to look here because Chrysler, in their wisdom, there was nowhere to put it under the hood. So they've got it mounted up in behind this inner fender shield, kind of underneath the headlight here. And you can see there the connectors. It's not sealed. And these things eventually, the weather gets to them and you get bad connections and they turn green. and you start having problems. So we're going to have to jack this thing up, pull the wheel off. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me backtrack a little bit. These relays, this one is the main power for the TIPM, and these other three are your fan relays. So we're going to pull the wheel off, pull this inner fender down, and look in this relay block for a problem. It could just be a bad relay that's causing our issue, or we could have a connector that's turned green. This I cut out of a car that we parted out. Another place to look possibly is this splice here. It could be turned green inside the heat shrink and gone bad. We've got her jacked up and supported on an axle stand. Now we're going to go ahead and pull the inner fender out. And you know what? This is the second socket I've come over here with. One day, my dream as a man, as a mechanic, as a tradesman, my dream is to one day be able to look at a friggin' metric fastener and instantly identify what size it is, like I can do with the inch ones. I'm still not there yet. Once you get these two screws out, there's a whole bunch of these little things that, and this is how you get the inner fender out. See, with a screwdriver, you work the little center bit out of it. There. And then you pop the rest of it out. You can get at it with a trim tool like this, and it'll come right out. And I have to be really careful with these because you can see how they go together. I usually break a few of them, and when I go to the wreckers, I'll grab a bunch, you know. And I'm out right now. I used them all up because I had to take the bumper off for something one time, and I used up my last spares. So anyway, we'll be very careful with these. I'll be back once I've got this thing out. Once that thing is out, then it's a little bit more easy to work on our electrical stuff in here. I may yet, for the 5 minutes it takes, I may pull the front bumper cover off too. So you can see here, oh, by the way, I went and just for clarity's sake, to make it easier for all of us to see what I'm doing, I took the front bumper cover off. It takes on these cars like minutes to get the thing off. So I just took it off. Here's the relay block. You can see where it is. It's kind of a precarious place to have a bunch of electrical components. So what we're going to do is somehow on the back of this, there's some clips I can release and get this holder off of this metal bracket, and then we can work on it. Well, it was really fun getting these little clips released to pull this thing up off this bracket. In the end, for 3 more bolts, I just popped the headlight out, got it the heck out of our way. So now we can take the cover off this thing. I've been in here before. I had trouble with this relay, the one that runs the TIPM. I had trouble with that before. We had a car that was stalling and wouldn't start. So anyway, what we're going to do now is pull these relays out, wiggle them around, and see if the fan starts working again. So the car is running and the air conditioning is on. The fan should be running. If I take this middle, well, that was just the clutch cycling. So, nothing. All right, now we're going to pull the bottom of this box off and probe around for power. Well, I didn't really find any green connectors in here. I couldn't, connectors turned green from rot. I'll show you what I mean by that. You see that? This is one of the relays out of our spare relay block. You can see where it was there. It's one of the fan relays. So I switched out all 3 relays with 3 relays from this, and now the fans seem to be running on low speed. So I think we've got just a bad relay. The engine is running with the air conditioning off, and we're letting it warm up, and we're going to find out if the fans kick on to high speed once the engine gets up to temperature. I've gone ahead now and put a piece of cardboard in front of the radiator, and we're going to see if we can get this thing to build some heat, because the way it's sitting here, it's just sitting here idling, and the fan is running on low speed, and it's doing a good job keeping the engine cool. Alright, so I let it run and run and run and run, and the fans just went on low, even with the cardboard here. But what I did now, I went and I put the air conditioner on max, and as soon as I did that, bam, the fans went on to high speed. So our entire problem here was just a bad relay. So here's our schematic, and this here is the relay that was bad, and that's the series parallel relay. You've got 3 relays here. Medium high and a low medium, or pardon me, a low and high. And what they do is they just manipulate the power flow through these fan motors. They connect them in series, they connect them in parallel, and that gives you your different speeds. And I guess this one, being bad, completely blocked the whole show because it wouldn't let anything happen. Anyway, it's fixed now. And you can see here on it, the relay hasn't gone bad, it's just gotten a bad connection. This is what happens with these things. It's just a terrible, terrible place for them to put relays. So what I'm going to do now that I know everything's back working again, I'm going to take all these relays out, make sure the terminals are clean on all of them. We're going to pack everything with dielectric again and put it back together. So I've got all these cavities packed with dielectric. I put all the relays back in, and just before I button everything up, I started the car up again, put the AC on, the fans went up onto high, everything's good. So now we can go put this mess all back together. That's that all done. All we got to do now is we'll lower it down, and I got to torque up the wheels. Well, that's that job all done. We've been in that little relay box before, and I can't imagine when I'm walking around in the wreckers and there's rows and rows of these calibers and little compasses and Jeep Patriots, how many of them are in there because of trouble in that little box. Fans wouldn't come on and the engine melted, or the TIPM relay is completely dead and the car won't do nothing and it just gets scrapped. Anyway, it was a poor decision on their part to put that electrical equipment inside the fender, but that's what they did. They've done stuff like that before on PT Cruisers from 01, 02, 03. The transmission computer was right here bolted to the frame rail, and they used to rot out. People would, the transmission would just quit working because the module rotted out, like it would actually have holes in it. Well, we're out and about on a Saturday morning, and Deb's run into the drugstore, and I've been sitting here, left the engine idling for a few minutes, and you can see it's staying absolutely perfectly cool. So I guess our fan problem is fixed, thank goodness. Well, there we are. I'm glad we got that fixed. A hot engine is not something you want to have to be dealing with. And sometimes, like in the case where these fans, you could drive your car around normally without getting caught in a traffic jam or something and never know there's anything wrong. And then the one time, all of a sudden, you're in a traffic jam, or you have to run the engine because you're waiting for somebody or whatever, and that gauge starts going up, 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 up. Lucky we caught it and got it fixed with no harm done. And like I said, this is a very common thing on these cars. If you have one of these, or a Compass, or a Patriot, that's something to keep an eye on, because if you live in the Salt Belt like we do. I don't think in California it's a problem. Anyway, that'll do it for now. I want to thank you for tuning into our channel and continuing to support us. And I hope we'll see you again here. And until then, this is Kevin checking out from the Claremont Classic Garage. Thanks and so long.